Hi, I hope you're doing well. I'm doing very well because my friend just gave me these beautiful love letter moon pearl earrings, and I'm just very grateful for all my friends. But besides that, I'm also doing really well because I've got the XX and I read the XX and I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it. So much so, I have a vanilla cream candle burning in January and I have my fairy lights on just to get the spooky season going. Oh my gosh, I love this book. If you didn't know, it's about a witch named Vivienne who basically gets her heart broken in the relationship she was in when she was 19, and because of that she gets drunk and decides to playfully curse her boyfriend, well, ex-boyfriend, sorry, and she does, and she thinks it doesn't really mean anything until 9 years later when her boyfriend, the wonderful Rhys Penhallow, comes to Grace Glen, the place that this story is taking place in, and things go horribly wrong. Turns out not only is he cursed, but the entire town is cursed. And we basically follow the two characters as they are forced to talk to each other and work together and figure out on how to uncurse the town, uncurse Rhys, and just save their entire world and learn so much about the town and each other and what their bond means. So I just love this book. Right, I'm a big fan of romances, but I haven't been having the great time with contemporary romances, but the writing in here is exquisite. It's so descriptive and so eloquent and so just beautifully vivid. The atmosphere in this is insane. The world building is amazing. I could just smell the autumn air and feel the Halloween spirit, and I could just see every leaf and watch every sky and gaze at the moon with all the love in my heart. And gosh, Erin Sterling or Rachel Hawkins, whatever she prefers, is an amazing writer. And even on top of that, the voices of the characters were so convincing, and they were full of these pop culture references that made them all the more realistic and relatable and understandable. Like, you know, she listens to Taylor Swift after she has a breakup, or Rhys, who's my favorite character, says, "You're a wizard," to Vivienne at one point. And he's just such a lovely guy. I feel like he should be the blueprint of all men because he's just so funny, so charming, so beautiful inside and out. And he just, every time he was on the spotlight, my heart just felt warm with happiness and joy because I just loved this guy, and I loved all the other characters. They were just so real and so good. You know, they had good motivations, good reasoning for what they did, good everything, right? And so much has went into this writing, which I should mention, by the way. This book was written 30 years after the author had actually wanted to write a rom-com, and she dedicated this book to all of her favorite writers, which I just think is so sweet. It just, oh my gosh, it felt so good. And you could tell that she was truly passionate about this. So I just really, really love all of that care that's been curated into this. And I haven't felt this good reading a romance book ever since I was 15 and bawling my eyes out to Landline. So I think I have a new favorite. And you know, the pacing is really good, right? Like, every chapter was really fast, but it also had a very clear objective that it achieved, and there was always a certain point of closure, but also a slight cliffhanger that made you wonder what would happen next. But it gave you that choice where you could either stop reading for the day, wait for the next time, or you could just keep reading and finish the whole book in one sitting. So I just really appreciate that in books, because even though it's awesome to read a book in one go, it's really unsatisfying when you can't, but you just feel so incomplete afterwards when you decide not to. And this book is just a perfect mix of both. You could either read it all at once or you couldn't. I personally took my time to savor every word and every inch because I just found it so beautiful. It's so lovely. As you can see, all the tabbing, all the annotations. I finished an entire packet of tabs with this, and I had to start another one, which is the reason they mismatch. But I still had such a good time, and I honestly feel so bad that it's over. But the book ended perfectly, especially at the end. The execution was incredibly done. It was expertly handled with, and I don't think it could have been written any better than the way it already has. I have no complaints about this book, no criticisms. There's nothing I wish I could have seen. Of course, I would have loved more of them, but the place that Rachel Hawkins decided to end it on is a place that I respect. You know, it's like a really nice ending point of the story, but like not their lives. And I can imagine that the characters are very happy together and having a great time. And I feel really good, right? And these characters have a very special place in my heart, and I'm personally just really, really happy. I feel great, and these characters, even the love scenes, which I'm always really anxious about, because sometimes they're really cringy, but these were so realistically written. I just found myself underlining everything because I'm like, bro, I gotta come back to this. I gotta learn how to write like this. This is amazing. This is so friggin' amazing. And yeah, it's just a great book. And I'd say that if you're just looking for some comedy in your life, or some romance, or some nice feel-good spooky stuff, even though it's January, I don't judge. We do what we do here, okay? Definitely pick up the XX. It's so good. Don't be put off by the whole contemporary romance cartoon cover thing, because I know there's been a recent trend of these sorts of covers, and the books having somewhat mediocre, somewhat of a divisive writing that people either like or dislike. This book, I can't see anyone disliking this. Unless you don't like romances, or you don't like rom-coms, or you don't like comedy books, or you don't just like feeling good, or good writing, or good Halloween stories, or good anything, I don't see anyone disliking this. This book is awesome. I will fight for this book with my life. And it just, if you can read this, please do. It's awesome, and I really hope that Erin Sterling or Rachel Hawkins, whatever she prefers, decides to write more. And I'm looking forward to reading the rest of her 12 books, because she has written 12 and 13 including this. And I just think that's so perfect, such a wonderful witchy number. And yeah, I would read you some quotes, but honestly I'm deciding not to, because I feel like there's something you have to encounter by yourself, and just kind of close the book, sit and breathe it all in, and just be like, whoa, what was that? It's an awesome book, and I'm honestly kind of apprehensive that I'm peaking so far in 2022 by having like 2 of the books I've read be 5 stars, but honestly, they're fucking awesome. They're amazing, and especially this. You should read this. Go read this. Do me a favor and read this, and please tell me about it, because I would love to have someone to talk to about it. It was incredible, and I definitely see myself rereading this at some point and going through all the annotations and maybe adding more, or just, remembering how I felt and feeling even better afterwards. So yeah, that was it for my review on the XX. It really pen-hollowed my Jones, if you know what I mean. Yeah, I would definitely risk my life to vivienned it all for this book. And that is all. Read it, have a good time, take care, stay safe, and I will see you in the next one. Good night.